Hi, I'm Captain Stanford with Texas Fish Tips. This is your weekly fishing report.
Well, get out here in the Lydian Channel. This point right here on incoming tide's been working pretty good. It's been real rough around them jetties, so I wouldn't go out there if I was you. There's very few people on the jetties even fishing. Very few out on that south jetty when that wind's rocking, because it'll knock you in that water and you can't get your butt back up in there so you can drown. So just stay off them jetties unless you're parking down here where it's not too bad. If you get on the very end, it's very dangerous. Maybe early in the morning might be okay, but those waves are still up. Now, get on the Lydian Channel down through here. Anywhere down through has been holding some trout. Croaker's the way to go. If it's real strong tide, like say incoming tide, you want to get down here a little further away from that inlet. That way the current is not as strong. And there's some really good reds down here right up on that bank, and there's also some trout. Croaker's the way to go. There's very few shrimp in the bay right now. The moon phases the way they are right now. There's just not a lot of shrimp. That's why it's been tough. You're lucky to find these shrimp. If you do find some, get them. Anyways, down here at Quarantine Shoreline, anywhere down through has been catching some nice trout. Same with Corpus Christi Bayou, all this down through here. Just set up here. This is one of my favorite spots right here in this area. Set up right here and chunk your croaker this way. And don't catch your fish. Going down about 50 yards, do it again. And anywhere there's any obstruction or anything different, like a little inlet, tumbleweed in the water, whatever the case may be, just anything different. Or if there's a bunch of dolphins, move on, because they will come find you. But anywhere down through, all the way down to Trout Bayou's been holding some nice trout all the way down through here. Croaker's the way to go. Okay. Now, if you've got a shallow water boat, you get back in your lighthouse lakes, there's been holding some black drum in this area. There's also some redfish. Catching a drum on dead shrimp. If you can't find live, just go buy you some frozen and get at it, or dead bait, but it works really good. A lot of times we throw them when we see them, but out here in these grass like this, you're just potluck. You throw it out there, you might find one or two, move on around and find some more. There's also another little inlet right here, and we've been catching black drum right in here, same thing. Okay, on down the Aransas Shrimp Channel, these little outlets right here, inlets, these little cuts, when it's outgoing tide, when that water's coming out of here going that way, it's a great time to get out there and catch some redfish. There's some trout in the deeper water, but those reds will stack up in there. They're waiting on that bait to come through that little hole, and it all concentrates in there, and they like that. But anyways, set up in that deep water right here, throw up in that shallow water, or if you got a skinny water boat, you can paddle on up in there, or you get out and wade down through there. Any of those will work. Also, South Bay's been holding some nice trout in this area in the deeper water. The redfish usually up in here, and sometimes there's black drum right here in this little cut, but you got to have a skinny water boat to get back in there. Or you jump out and go wade fishing in there. Right now it's nice and hot. That wade fishing feels pretty good. Now, if you get on down here at Morrison Cummins Cut, all down through here, go right on down through here in Stebbins Reef. There's been some nice trout right here, but you have to get there early in the morning when that wind is not too heavy. That wind has been going 25, 35 miles an hour, and it's hard to fish right here. It's a windy point. But early in the morning, about 10 miles an hour, you can fish it right there. There's been some nice trout caught. There's also been some redfish caught back in this area in the potholes. They're taking cut mullet and throwing it in potholes. If you got some menhaden or frozen menhaden, it works pretty good too. But the redfish are scattered. Okay, out in front of Dagger Island, behind that new island, there's been holding some nice redfish up in these mud holes, these little sand pockets down through here. Anywhere down through has been holding some nice reds. Cut mullet, cut menhaden if you got it. Working pretty good. Just put your mullet on a hook, chunk it out there, and put it in a rod holder, and let the rod holder do the work. That way you don't mess it up. Anyhow, right here, this little inlet right here has been holding some nice trout in this area with croaker. Free-lining croaker is the best way to go for them trout. Okay, you guys that don't have a boat, Indian Point Pier is a great place to go. It's free. Get out there and get you some fish. Now, anywhere down through here, if you're wade fishing, you don't have a boat, it's a good place to hop out of the car and go wade fishing. It's like surf fishing here, but you just ain't got as big of waves. There's some good reds right up on the bank. The trout are about 50 to 100 yards out. And you can wade the fish out here pretty good ways and throw it out there, or you can do your artificial. But anywhere down through these old pilings, the old piers, been holding some black drum. But these waves are real tough out there. You can't fish the surf, but you can fish this whole shoreline just like the surf. It just won't have as big of waves, and it's not near as dangerous. Now, if it gets too windy, you can get up behind these rocks and hide out right here, and the waves won't be as big. But those redfish have been right up on that bank. They're just traveling in schools up and down through here, cut mullet or cut menhaden. Throw as shallow as you can up there, and that's where they're at. Now, back off, get anywhere down through here. That's where your trout are on free line croaker.
Thanks for watching. I'm Captain Doug Stanford.